y'all, what is going on? What is that? Yo, how y'all doing, girl? Ladies and gents, I meant to say, how are y'all doing? I am doing fine, thank you. It is good to hopefully be back, y'all. Woo, child, it has been, looking for something. It has been a trying time, honey, y'all. But I'm glad to be back. Hopefully back to making videos. I got a lot of stuff I need to do. I know, we say that all the time, but it's true. Girl, I was gone for so long because I made a video and I hadn't made it public yet, and I need to go back and make it public. I forgot about that. I uploaded it, child, and then forgot all about it. But my baby was sick and hospitalized. So y'all know the whole press stopped at that point, right? When Tootie was hospitalized, it all stopped. And I wanted to come on to make this video really to say, because there's so much going on and so many illnesses and stuff like that are out there. Fight for your children. If you know that they are exhibiting behaviors or mannerisms that are not their norm, don't give up and do not stop, because you gotta keep on fighting. And people, we laugh because we use Google for so much, but at the same time, Google, sometimes I think the doctors go Google stuff. I really do. I believe that. So I'm gonna give you the Reader's Digest version. Just a second. Y'all got CDs in the door again, y'all. I'm telling you, I don't put CDs in my door. I don't know who the heck. Well, my husband, he don't want to be driving the car, and he don't even drive it that much, so I don't even know how CDs to get in the door, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, that's a pet peeve. Can you tell? I hate them rolling around. I'll get them whenever. But so Tootie fell on a Thursday. She was in the hospital for almost a week. She fell on a Thursday, and she fell at school and started complaining about a headache. So we were like, you fell? So yeah, so she, she called my daughter and was like, Mom, my head is hurting really bad. I fell. So Tootie's thinking she fell because she was playing and she fell. And so I was just like, why does she have, such a bad headache? So my daughter took her so that Friday morning she got up and she didn't feel like going to school. She was complaining about the headache. Now, Tootie is one that does not miss school. She loves school. So she goes to school. But she was complaining about a headache. So my daughter kept her out of school that Friday, took her to the emergency room. They did an EKG and something else, x-rays of her chest. But you got a banging headache, but they x-raying your chest. But okay. So they cleared her, said everything was fine, brought her back home. She spent the weekend, she came and stayed with me that Friday through that Sunday, and she just was not herself the whole entire time. Like, she was just lying around. She didn't have any energy. She had a headache. The whole time I kept having to give her stuff for headaches. And I'm like, Tootie, what is wrong? She was like, nothing. She wasn't. Let me tell y'all something. Tootie is a hip-hop dancer. For those of you that don't know, she is a hip-hop dancer. She was not dancing. She was not making videos. She was not talking on the phone. She was not doing any of that. So by Sunday, she texted my daughter and was like, Mom, I need to go back. Now, Tootie, I need to go back to the doctor. I do not feel good. Something's not right. My daughter comes get her, take her back to the emergency room. Because, it's over the weekend. She has a primary care physician, but it's over the weekend. Take her back to the doctor on Sunday. They did a CT scan of her head and something else, but she was fine. Now, they did these, all these tests and stuff. Neurological tests, I guess is kind of what you would consider. She was missing his finger and she failed these tests, but the doctor said because there was nothing on the CAT scan, she's fine, sent her back home. By Monday, told her to make an appointment with the neurologist, okay, if she hadn't gotten better, and give her Tylenol and Motrin for 3 to 4 days. If she has not gotten better, then make an appointment with this neurologist. So by Monday, Tootie she could barely, when she talked, you could not understand anything she said. She was falling around when she was walking, fumbling and falling, and And my daughter called me crying, and I'm just like, I mean, Lamika, make an appointment with the neurologist and her doctor. So we got in with the neurologist on a Tuesday. So the neurologist, I met her over there. It was 8:10 in the morning. 8:10 in the morning. So I spent the night with them, got up, we went to the neurologist. So we were sitting there, and my mom was like, have they tested her for meningitis? And so I said, you know what, my girlfriend mentioned meningitis to me as well. And so, you know, my mom had already Googled it, child, everything. And I had Googled it, and I was like, well, you know, look like the doctors would say something, you know, if it's meningitis or whatever. So the neurologist sees her and is like, I see exactly what you're talking about, because Tootie felt all the, you know how you have to, the doctor have their finger moving it around, you have to do, she was missing the finger, couldn't see the finger. As at that point, she mimicked somebody that had a stroke, to be honest, like with her slurred speech and her weakness and just falling and stuff like that, you know. But anyway, so the neurologist is like, I see exactly what you're talking about. Take her directly now to the emergency room and tell them to do an MRI, you know, of her brain. And I will call ahead. Y'all go ahead on over there. So we gets there. During the process, y'all, Tootie's lying in that bed, and my mind is going 1,000 miles a minute. Like, but you know, your mind goes so many places, and you get to thinking so many things, and so much is going on. And you know, all I could do is just pray and hold myself together, girl, because we had to hold ourselves together for Tootie. You know what I'm saying? Because she's lying in the bed. She's so weak, y'all. And for a moment, child, I think my heart stopped. Everything, like, and my daughter, she was, you know, trying to hold it together, stay positive for Tootie. But child, you know, it's hard. I gotta get my gas, y'all. Hold on right quick. I'll be right back. Ooh, girl, it is cold as crap out this door. Ah, oh my goodness. Oh, somebody just almost tore their stuff up. What in the world happened? I don't know, girl. I ain't got time to be in somebody else's business. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Girl, we were like, oh my God. So, let me tell you, girl, I ain't have time. People are so crazy. People will get pissed off because you don't call them and tell them personally what is going on. And my thing was, when because really, I told my mom maybe on like that Monday, I think, and I really didn't think to tell anybody else. My daughter and I were just, really, we didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So we really did. I mean, and so many people were just like, so why y'all didn't call nobody? Why y'all didn't tell nobody? You know what I did do? I contacted people that, and not to say my mom wouldn't, but I contacted, and I know she would. I mean, my mom is like a drama queen. I told y'all that before. So before we tell her anything, we like to know what's going on, because she just takes it and just flow with it. Okay? No knock against my mom. That's just what she does. But so really, we were trying to figure out what was going on. I contacted people that I know would start praying. I ain't had time to be posting on Facebook. You know, I posted after the whole ordeal was over as a testimony as to what God can do. Because, I ain't tell y'all what's wrong, but you know, I'm just telling you that don't nobody have time to be, you know, social media events when they're going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't. A lot of people do. I don't, because I was busy talking to the Lord. I was busy tending to my daughter, tending to Tootie, you know, and it was such of an ordeal because my daughter, when we were waiting for the MRI, y'all, there is a million thoughts that go through your mind. Oh my God, so much goes through your mind because you don't know if it's a tumor. You just don't know what it is, but it is something. The neurologist has confirmed that it's something, but she didn't want to specify what it was because she was like, she didn't want to alarm us. So that made it like, oh my God, okay, but at least she sees that there is a problem and there is something. So it turned out that Tootie had an infection. I can't think of the name of, child, like inflammation, and the part of her brain that controls her speech, her walking, you know, all her motor skills and stuff. And she also had like viral meningitis. Long story short, but she was a sick child, so they had her in the hospital and they were giving her antibiotics, fluids, and things like that. And you know, of course, watching her all these different, but it took them forever. And she had strep throat twice in February, like the beginning of February, then the end of February. So they were thinking that maybe that's where it came from. Well, they determined that's not where it came from. And y'all, they were coming in there taking all kind of pictures, and you know, of her mouth, because she had some she did have like white spots in her mouth and stuff like that, because they were looking for rashes. And it was just like going through so much. And so my mom, you know, she was calling people, you know, or as people began to find out, people were calling my daughter, people were calling me, why didn't y'all tell anybody? Well, I mean, hello, how are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't, and I was just telling people, we didn't really, I mean, we didn't think about it. Our concern was Tootie, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was just that was our concern. Like, and plus we didn't know what to tell. You know, we knew she wasn't doing well, and when we really realized there was a problem, we did tell people, you know, or and it really had me thinking, like, people are so insensitive that you're just like, really? Like, you would really call me nearly with an attitude because we didn't tell you that Tootie was sick? Well, how about, how are y'all doing? You know, like, because it was very stressful, very traumatic. And my daughter, I was back there with her when they were doing the MRI, and you know, Tootie was doing it, and we couldn't go in there, of course. So we were sitting in the lobby, as y'all, she was just going through so much, and she began to cry. And she was like, Mom, she kept saying she had a headache, and I didn't know. I said, baby, you wouldn't know, because how many kids like come and say they have a headache? I said, and as soon as you realize that she was, you took her to the doctor, she did everything she could, so I had to reassure her. So the last thing I needed was to be dealing with other people, you know what I'm saying? But child, the moral of this story is really to fight for your kids. I don't care. Fight for yourself. If you feel like something is not right, so the doctor came in, the emergency room doctor, after they found out she had, at the time they just saw the fluid on her brain, you know, in that area. I can't even think the name of it, y'all. Pronounce it, rather. I know what it is, but I can't pronounce it. So it was in that little area back there. So after they realized that was there, he came back, told us what was going on and everything. So he was like, and y'all, because we asked about meningitis. So when we first got there, my daughter she had left her social security, all their social security cards at the neurologist's office. So she had to go back there to pick those up because she thought she had dropped them out in the parking lot, and she was just frantic. I said, honey, just go. I'll stay here with Tootie. Just go ahead on. So she went back over there. I stayed with Tootie. And so when the doctor first came in, you know, and they were gonna do the MRI, yada yada yada, I said, yes, what about meningitis as well? He was like, well, usually people that have meningitis are deathly sick. Yes, bacterial meningitis, they're deathly ill. Tootie was sick, but she wasn't like, I mean, like I said, it was really just, we didn't know what was going on with her. You know, she had issues. She couldn't speak very well. She was falling around, couldn't walk, you know, without holding on to something or somebody. She couldn't stand for a long period. I mean, it was just a lot going on there. So after they came back and told us, you know, about the infection on the brain, he said, y'all were concerned about meningitis too when you first came in, right? So I said yes, because I was the only one there at the time. My daughter was back by then. And so she looked at me. I said, yeah, I mentioned it to him. So he was like, well, I don't think she has it, but we could test her if you want to. So we were like, yes, test her. I mean, yes. What the heck is wrong with these doctors? And so he was like, okay, let me go talk to some more neurologists. So he went to talk to, well, he was just an ER doctor. He went to talk to some neurologists, and he came back and said, yeah, they agreed that we should test her for meningitis. Duh. What the, really? And this is normal. This is a children's pediatric emergency room. So, anyway, so he goes to test her and come back. Yes, she has, well, at the time, they didn't know if it was bacterial or which one. They just knew she had meningitis. So, child, and meningitis will kill you. And I'm just like so grateful at that. But let me tell you something, honey. Before you do anything in a crisis or whatever, talk to the Lord first. That's your first contact. That's your first contact, because the first thing I did was started talking to the Lord and getting other people to pray as well, anointing too. I couldn't get to her at the time. I was so tired up at work when my daughter called me crying. I said, Lamika, this is what I want you to do. I gave her instructions, honey, on getting her some oil, praying over that oil, anointing herself, anointing your daughter, praying for yourself, because, and this is the stuff we have to teach our kids, because we can't always get there. We're not always going to be there. You better give them something that they could use and that they will remember themselves to do. And she went and got that oil, honey. She had to drink it. This was on that Monday before, you know, before everything. This is when she was so bad. She was crying and stuff. And I told her, you know, and I worked probably like 30 minutes away. And I was like, I could get off work and come, but this is what I want you to do in the meantime. And honey, don't tell me, I'm telling you, better go for what you know. And it ain't people, it's God. You know, you just really got to put your faith in God. And you really, you really truly have to tune in to the Lord. You know, I pray and pray and trust and believe. So I could not worry myself to death because I had prayed and turned it over to the Lord. Now, the human part of me sometimes want to break down, because, you know, that's my grandbaby. And y'all know, Tootie is my ride or die. You know, and sometimes you want to, the human part, you want to break down, but you got to, you know, because if I gave it to the Lord, He gonna work it out. And if I sit up here worrying and crying and stressed out, what was the point? I don't have faith. I had faith, girl, that God was gonna work it out, honey. And hey, I was just fine, and Tootie's just fine. I would like to give the report that Tootie went back to school. What's today? She went back to school yesterday. She's doing well. She's back to making her videos. Her speech, every once in a while, you still can't. You know, you have to ask her, what did she say? Or she has to slow down a lot, you know, to really understand what she's saying. Her voice is still at times kind of like high pitched. It's different. It's different. But they said it could take a couple weeks to a couple months or more for her to return back to her, you know, total normal self. So, testimony time, girl. I just, you know, and I had to testify and tell people about it. So I posted on Facebook, and oh my God, so many people, it was so many thoughtful people still praying for her full recovery. And it was just like, it's great to see so many people, so many positive. And y'all, let me tell you, Tootie would not let me do a video. She would not let me take a picture. And that, do y'all, like, she did not want a picture at all. I took it the last day when she was coming home in her wheelchair, and I will insert the picture and a little clip we did in the car. But you know what? At the time, doing the whole thing, girl, I didn't think about a camera. Nothing. All I thought about was praying and my Tootie getting better, child. That was all I thought about. Anyway, the moral of the story, y'all, is trust the Lord. But if you're gonna say you trust Him, you can't worry and you can't stress. Okay? If you trust the Lord, you trust the Lord. But if you go follow all the pieces, stressing and crying and having a fit, then, you know, hey, do you really trust Him? You know what I'm saying? And child, I trust Him. So with that being said, your girl is back. Tootie is doing well. Thank the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. She's doing well, and maybe, you know, life will return as normal, because for the last couple weeks, it's just been, you know, it's just been off. Everything has been off. Oh, and when Tootie got out the hospital, my daughter had to go. She was sick. She had strep throat, and she could not be, and some kind of virus, she could not be around Tootie for 48 hours. So when they discharged Tootie, she had to come home with me for 48 hours. Then Zoe had an ear infection and bronchiolitis or something, child. So they been going through over there. And I told my daughter, just, you know, go through that house, clean that house with Lysol, because, child, they been going through over there. And anoint your house. Yes, ma'am. Pray and anoint that house, because sometimes the enemy gets busy. You know what I'm saying? And hey, we don't have time for that, child. But anywho, I will see y'all later. Have a good day. Bye.